Hello everyone. Do you hear me well? Let's check the sound. If you hear me well, please write down the plus. We are waiting for 5 minutes and getting started. Seven people watching. 4 minutes more. Let me open it in browser. Just to see your comments. So I think it's okay. We are starting our stream. My name is Roman. Today we will trade together. Let's try to find and work out some setups. I personally prefer working out solid situations. I mean, rare but reliable setups. Usually, three arguments should be in every setup for making a trade. Uh, let's look down and find out some situations. If you see something, please write down. I usually use different screeners for searching, but if you have no time for that, you can use CryptoBubble's website. But first of all, let's start from this screener from CScalp. It's very simple, eye sketching. Here we see Binance USDT futures, FTX futures. Here we see the price change in 5 minutes and 15 minutes. I prefer just watching out the most volatile instruments. For example, Atom, IMX. And finally, if you have no time, another screeners like crypto bubbles, really good one. Here we see where you can observe the most volatile instruments at the moment. Very eye-catching interface. Or you just can use Binance tab markets where you choose futures market, and here you see the most volatile ones, Redux, BET, and so on. And before starting, I usually like watching different setups here in crypto chat, English crypto chat of CScalp. Please join. And here professional traders share their situations and setups that really work out very good. And please write down what setups do you like to work out. I personally prefer such setups like breakouts, pullbacks, and positional trading from market profile zones. For now, I see several situations like OP-USDT. I really like this situation on UNFI. Looks very, very close to breakout to shorts, but the instrument itself really lacks some activity. I put signal levels here at 5.410, 5.400. If you don't know how to do it, we just combine pressing K plus left button of your mouse, like that. Just a moment. %50 of situations in chart are bad. Why bad? You should always follow your risk management. Most situations, if you even have 50% of good trades, it will be enough for successful trading, because if you follow your risk management, if you're trading by your system, it will be enough to increase your deposit. 50% is enough. And if you have 50% successful trades, it's quite good statistics. So write down your questions, and maybe if you see some setups, write down. We will discuss something. Let's see some situations here. For example, DADX trading inside the consolidation. I really like these volumes that really demonstrate us that the price is around really strong level. Maybe here the great amount of limit orders pushed the price back, and I really suppose the price will go down till to the lower side of this consolidation. Let's see what's happening here. But in clusters, we see the real fight. The real fight. It's dangerous to open trades here because let's wait something certain from this situation, because in clusters we see that buyers and sellers are fighting. Do you use trading bot? It's a good question. I don't prefer bots because every bot, even if it's quite successful, it's usually suitable for different stages of market. You are successful with your bot till the situation has changed, but you never know when it's changed. So I do not prefer. You are the only operator of your trades, and automated trading, I think it's almost impossible thing. Finally, all your deposit will go down the drain. Can you please show us your trading strategy? Yes, I will show you. Be patient. Concerning the trading strategy, I really prefer as the most risky one breakouts. On such a market today, we are observing BTC. Just a moment. BTC in the consolidation, but I suppose it will go down, and I don't recommend to open trades against BTC. It's our guide, so I'm waiting for the following situations: CRV going back to consolidation or retest and uptrend movement, and I'm waiting for DADX to go back to the lower side of this consolidation. What else? The most interesting situation is on Yunfi. I'm really waiting for a short movement, a great breakout. I think it will be at least till 5.0. But it should be consolidating a little bit more. Maybe it will make one more cycle here, and it will make a new touch, something there. I know that we have to watch the spot order book for detecting Wolf's levels, but how to make decisions to place order on futures looking at spot wall? Because spot price is different from futures. It's very good questions. Very good question, because we use spot as a kind of guidance. It's a basic instrument, and futures considered to be speculative instrument. We should we should consider spot as a base, because all the wealth, all the amount of limit orders on spot, they are more stable. because all that walls and all the amount of limit orders placed on futures order book are less stable. They are changing. They are changing place. They are replacing always. So spot is much more stable, and it's our main instrument to consider, to find different walls, to find a huge limit orders amount. It's a very good question. What's about Yunfi? Much more activity, but it looks like the instrument wants to make another one cycle to make one more touch of this level. Dydex looks very shortly. However, I don't like what is happening in clusters. The most interesting and dangerous thing, uh, please always pay attention to BTC, because BTC is now on the very interesting situation in very long consolidation. The consolidation has just started, but the more consolidation lasts, the stronger impulse then it will bring. So, considering the worldwide situation, the negative background, I think that there is a high probability that after long consolidation, the Bitcoin really could break the lower side of this consolidation, and we can easily go to 14,000 to 12,000. However, while the BTC is inside this consolidation, we can trade long, we can trade short, but short is more preferable. What's happening with GMT? Whoa, something like great pumps. GMT is forming good pattern for breakout. Please pay attention. Pay attention to this situation. I will probably trade pullback from this point, 89.5. If there is a great amount of limit orders, and we will look at the clusters, we will see what this situation can bring us. How to correctly interpret clusters? Often I see that the POC is on green, but the price falls down. Very good question. uh, clusters is clusters are always help us to see any. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just a moment. Maybe I will took shorts something here, somewhere here. The second touch of this level. Let's see. Quite dangerous, but if you are experienced enough, you can feel such situations. So many traders who are flexible enough, who trade both breakouts and pullbacks, really know that uh, the price doesn't break the level for the second touch. During the second touch, first and second touch are always end with pullback. Very few arguments. Here we see some limit orders, but according to their relevant and current activity, 200K are not enough. However, let's see. I will place stop loss somewhere here. Let's see, Yunfi. Yunfi is going up. Let's get back to the very interesting question about the clusters. When we analyze clusters, we are using them to define the levels on the history. The cluster always reflects the amount of orders, market orders that were made, and they are put in a history. So when we are when we see, for example, such situation, when, for example, price is going down, it's pushing down, then we see in clusters all the clusters in red, but price stops in this zone and hardly goes deeper. It means that in this zone, the loading of buy limit orders occur. It's very hard to understand because all the limit orders, in order to execute limit orders, we need market orders. For example, if we placing buy limit orders, we need sell market orders to execute them. That's why if we see totally red clusters that can't push price lower, it means that it could be long position loading. It's pushing higher. What's happening? I don't believe that it will break this level for the second touch. However, the buyer's activity is quite high. Uh, can you explain how it works, CScalp trading strategy? I'm really good at indicator, but I never totally understand delta. I personally don't like indicators because they usually really works on a history. So I prefer trading by reading order book, defining liquidity zones, and so on. It really looks like false breakout. Let's watch the BTC. BTC is consolidating. GMT is really calls the shots. Whoa, it's getting very dangerous. However, we can load the position in this zone. In this zone, I really believe that the price will go deeper from this zone. This is the zone of sellers. We retested this area. Now let's wait. Let's wait. When trading on futures, is better to watch the spot chart or the futures chart? We should watch both. We should really watch both. Uh, you will get used to it. The spot is more stable. When you see resistance in spot, it plays much more important role than in futures. However, in futures, as far as futures are more speculative, uh, you should watch what are happening at the moment. For example, if you trade futures, you should watch activity on the futures. If you watch a resistance zone, you should pay attention on futures and on spot. We will close the position if the price goes higher than this zone. Let's watch the BTC, what's happening. The instrument is inside the consolidation. but I really don't like what's happening in clusters. So the deal is quite risky. That's why I'm loading with very, very low working volumes. All your working volumes are uh, depend on your deposit. You shouldn't bear losses of more than 0.5% from your deposit from one deal, from one trade. In such situations, we really should pay attention on clusters, especially on the colors. Mixed colors always mean the fight between the participants. Do you use only BTC as an index, or you use also Ethereum? Usually traders use BTC as a guidance. It's a kind of rule. So we really use BTC. You can even watch the correlation between some instruments with BTC, and it really works. Because some instruments are really very sensitive towards the BTC. When a certain instrument is weaker than the market, it means that it follows the BTC. It usually really very sensitive to its movement. What about Unify? So as I said, Unify is making one more cycle to make another one touch. Here we see some resistance. Getting back to your question about the significance of spot, we really should watch spot more attentively due to such situations. We see resistance in spot, but we don't see such resistance in futures. Please write down your questions, or maybe you see some situations that I missed. and thank you for your activity and comments. Here we see the limit orders, however, they could be manipulative ones. I really see a lot of manipulative orders, limit orders in such a market. Hi, this is first time I see CScalp in action. Will you be explaining the basics of the program today? We will explain the basics in a special course. It will be free because it's quite uh, long to explain all the functions of CScalp, because CScalp is one of the most useful instruments, the most useful soft for scalping for today. So some streams that will be held in August, I think we will devote to this topic. Okay, I do not like such situation. Maybe we will make another attempt much higher from this zone again. What chart patterns are best to train on order flow method? I usually combine patterns with not only with technical analysis, but with the situations on order book, on your clusters, because all the patterns I usually see are the last argument. Just a moment. Let's watch CRV. What's happening now? So I usually prefer using chart patterns as the last argument. The most important is what is happening in order book, in classes. However, I like such patterns like short consolidations, triangles, slow breakout. Let's try to trade CRV. Just a moment. Looks like breakout. However, I really prefer to trade such situations on higher time frames, because higher time frames of the same situations have much more potential rather than 5 minutes time frame. Just imagine the breakout on the 5 minutes time frame give you mm, 50 points, but the breakout on 1 hour or 4 hour time frame will give you much more, 200, 300 points. I have two order books open because the left one is a spot order book, the right one is a futures order book. We need to analyze both because the left one is basic instrument, the right one speculative instrument. The prices are the same, but we need to, for full analysis, we have to watch both, to watch the activity of both order books. I will try CScalp, look good. Can I use CScalp but not use proxy? Yes, why not? I do not use proxy. In such situation, I really don't like such shadows. It means that all the liquidity as the main fuel for the impulse are wasted. So I don't like this situation. It's really dangerous because the price went up and then the limit orders here pushed the price back. It means that the limit orders of sellers in this zone are much more active. They are much more stronger than the market orders of buyers that are pushing price up. What about GMT? The new attempts of breaking out. GMT really looks like it's becoming much stronger than the market. So sometimes such instruments can move against the BTC. I see some guys use small targets, small scalps on in one time frame. You like minimum M5 to catch bigger move. Yes, as I said, the higher time frame, the more potential you get. Uh, Scalping on 1 minute time frame is much more like uh, pips trading. What really calls the shots. Here we can catch knives. This zone is very interesting with quite short stop loss. I really like it. I will place the stop loss in this zone in break-even point because due to high volatility, I don't know what to expect from this instrument. Yeah, it's really pushing back. It's pushing back. It's quite dangerous to short it. This situation is about knife catching, quite risky, but very profitable strategy. While using, you should always use the minimum, very minimum working volume. I really get used trading through Binance, as most traders. I really recommend Bybit also. However, Bybit lacks liquidity. Binance have much more liquidity as an exchange. So it's a very interesting situation. The instrument is pumping, really pumping. And what is the reason? Maybe some use. What leverage are you using? It depends on the strategy you're using. The more risky strategy is, the less leverage you should use, because it's really important. It's up to your risk management. For example, in breakouts, in knife catching, I don't use leverage. I use leverage only in such situation like pullback from some limit orders, huge limit orders, because in such situation when where you can use very short stop loss, you can use higher leverage. Do you use Elliott waves to give you a guide of what may happen ahead? I really don't use, and I even really don't like Elliott waves because of lack of criterias. I think those guys who really rely on Elliott waves, they usually change the situation, always adjusting what is happening on the market to those rules of Elliott waves that are quite not very clear. So I don't like that Elliott waves really work, because Elliott waves don't reflect the participants' behavior. The most important instrument you should really read is not indicator, is not Elliott waves theory. The very important thing is order book, because here you at least see liquidity. Here you see where the money go. In this cluster, just see how much sellers call the shots. So I really don't like Elliott waves. All the users of Elliott waves are always adjusting uh, what's happening on the graph to the rules of Elliott waves building, and it's not very clear for me, frankly speaking. Luke, please clarify your question. I really didn't get it. It looks like retest. Here we see the first resistance. From here, buyers starting to get stronger again. However, it can retest this zone. I hope it will go deeper to this zone. Less than 1%, quite low. The BTC really lacks volatility, however, GMT pumps and dumps. I was catching knife because I saw this zone, the kind of market profile where usually, uh, in that case, sellers are loading position. This zone is a loading position area where from where price usually continue the trend. Uh, I consider EMA as one of the most reliable indicators, but they are reliable only higher time frames, 4 hour, 1 day, and along with, for example, RSI and MACD, if you know. There are only three indicators I really use for long-term analysis. And these volumes, that's all you need, I think, especially for scalping. why you said from here all red buyers become strong. Uh, Very good question. Uh, Let me think how to answer. It doesn't matter. The color in POC doesn't matter. The color could be red color could be the sign of uh, buyers loading, the execution of buyers limit orders, or red or green colors in clusters could be the sign of loading of sellers limit orders by market orders execution. It's very hard, but try to understand this. For example, green clusters could be market buys, market buy orders, or executing of short limit orders by market buyers. That's why when we see POC, regardless the color, it's always resistance for us, because we don't know the real source, for example, of green light here. It could be market buy orders that push price higher, or it could be the execution of uh, sellers limit orders. Oh, 77, yes. I just make it readable, just readable. Here you see two POC. It means that in that zone we have huge resistance. As I said, it just was the retest, and maybe price will go higher, much higher. However, I'm not risking to trade long in this situation because of BTC. Now you see the fight begins. Now we have come to the situation of uncertainty. Just see the clusters. Let's find something else. The market is quite volatile and active. See another one. But I can miss something because I need to answer your questions. OP USDT, just look at this. It looks like that it's ready for short. However, it really lacks volatility too. I really don't like to make a trade against BTC. So in this situation, we need some more information. It's uncertainty. Look at this. What I don't like, such shadows. That mean that somewhere here, the buyers are pushing the price higher. The instrument really need to collect, to accumulate more liquidity of buyers stop losses here, somewhere here, to uh, to give a really good fuel for a breakout to shorts. So I think the instruments really need to make another one curve, because it really lacks liquidity in this zone due to these shadows, as you see. So the POC is always a resistance and never support. I didn't understand what. The POC could be both resistance and support. Just treat it like the graphic level. When you have level like that, if the price is higher, this level, we consider this as a support zone. When the price is below, we consider the level as a resistance zone. The same story with the POC. Let's see what's happening with GMT. Oh, GMT. It looks like it's getting back from this zone. That was the first resistance zone. That was the second resistance zone. The more resistance zones on the way of the price, the weaker it gets. How you take targets, meaning on chart zone or by order book? Good question. Both. I use both arguments, order book and technical analysis. For example, you should always watch the zones and put the target in such area where you see the first resistance for price. The first resistance. Both in chart and in clusters and even in order book. In order book, the resistance are limit orders, huge limit orders. For clusters are POCs, as a resistance. And when we are talking about the chart, we treat different zones of consolidations and something like market profiles as a core resistance zone. If I stopped by this stop order, it's enough for today, because the more losses you bear, the more your psychology appeal you to trade. It's very dangerous situation. A good trader is not the trader who close every single trade with profit. The good trader is a trader who can resist uh, your desire to trade after several losses. Just follow your risk management. I just got used to such situations when I bear losses all the day. I have 10 10 trades with a loss of about $5, $10, $15. After I am getting too humble, I just close my computer, turn off my computer, and just go for a walk. This is the best advice I can give to the beginners. Let's watch another one. Watch your questions. We have several minutes left. Another one good situation, RLC. Let's try to short it from this zone. We have second touch of this level, you see. And we have low buyers activity. Let's close this trade. It's enough for today. What do you think about VWAP? What is this? Please clarify this. Nasdaq is correlation to crypto. What thoughts? Yes, you're absolutely right. There is a correlation between such instrument with crypto. If you open Nasdaq, you always Nasdaq and S&P, you will see some correlation. Many traders really wait for the moment when the Nasdaq, S&P stop falling and show the first signs of reverse, and then they wait the same from the crypto market as a result. About the course we will elaborate, and we will start it in August. Yes, you will get a notification. Just subscribe and enter. Just subscribe first of all for our English channel, and you will know about this. So it's enough for today. I think we are training about 1 hour. Not very profitable, but however, all the losses were by my risk management, within my risk management. If you are not lucky today, just cancel your trading and take a chance next day. Be sure it will pay off. It will pay off because all your knowledge is about 30%. 70% is about your psychology. Force yourself not to trade after several losses, after getting humble. Because bearing losses will getting closer to you to gambling game. Just stop trading when you feel that you want to increase your volumes and so on. Just cancel your trading. So thank you for your comments. Thank you for your activity. You're welcome to the next stream. Maybe it will help the next week. See you soon. Thank you.